Hello Moira, how are you today?
I'm great, Catherine. How are you?
Very good. So I would like to introduce you today, Moira from wellnesswithmoira.com. Moira is a weight loss coach here in Ottawa, and I have a few questions for her because I have issues. Like most of us, I guess, and I thought it would be interesting to share my discussion with Moira, and so that also you can get to discover what she does and how her approach is different. So, Moira, I thought I wanted to ask you questions because I've decided to, a few months ago actually, I decided to lose weight. Mm-hmm. And I thought, after many years of thinking, I'm comfortable the way I am, but I decided, I'm aging, unfortunately, and I want to feel, yes, exactly, and I wanted to, to do it once and for all. And, but I have experience in that, and it's actually my third round, and I've lost weight in the past. I've lost 60 pounds each time in the past 15 years, and I gained it back. So I know that the issue is not really to lose the weight. Yes, it's hard, and yes, but you know that you're committed for a certain period of time. But then after that, you have your whole life to try to keep it off.
Absolutely.
And so I wanted to hear from you what you would advise me. So for the benefit of everyone, I'm doing the Atkins diet, which is the no carbs diet. I'm cheating sometimes, I have to say.
Cheating's good.
Yeah, sometimes I need it. But, and I know that, when you gain weight after, it's usually because you cheat too many times, and then it becomes a habit to cheat. And so I wanted to hear from you what approach you would take with someone like me who comes to see you.
Okay, it's a brilliant question. Basically, when what you've just described about you take weight off, everybody can take weight off with deprivation. If you say, okay, I'm going to have no carbs, I'm going to have no fat, or only protein, which is Atkins. My understanding of Atkins is high protein and high fat, and no carbs, and I mean, I think there's more vegetables in the new version of Atkins, which is great. And I personally do well on Atkins diet too. But here's the thing, is that when you do weight loss on a regime, it doesn't matter which one it is, as soon as you come off of it, you're going to start putting weight on. Mm-hmm. Simply because it's not the cheats necessarily, but what does your body do when you've deprived it of carbs for X amount of time, lost your 60 pounds, and then you start bringing them back in? Your body is so not used to these, and you've got into a different routine. But the other thing, and where my weight loss approach is different from a traditional diet, I allow people to educate themselves on every kind of diet out there. Because I think with knowledge, you can then choose which feels right to you at this moment. So for instance, right now, I'm using a diet kind of loosely, like you're saying about the Atkins diet. I like, it's called Fat Flush. And it's similar in that it's high protein and lots of vegetables and lower on the carbs. I think the key piece is to make sure that you're getting nutrient-filled food. So that if you do have carbs, they're not refined white flour products, which those put huge amounts of weight on anyways, right? Your body goes into overload. But to go back to your question there about what I would do with somebody like you, where you've proven that you can lose the weight. And like I said, we all do. We all have the knowledge. It's here. But where my approach is really different, and I know there's a few people out there that do it, but this is not the usual way is, I like to tell people that I have to help you lose weight on 4 bodies. Four components of you have to be in alignment to maintain those healthy choices. So by that I mean your physical body. So that's everything to do with what food are you eating, what exercises are you doing, how much and what works for you, what works and what doesn't. So that's the physical body aspect. But the other 3 are just as important to maintaining that weight loss. So that's your emotional body. What's the health of that? Because that's where cravings come from. And that's where emotional eating, or you can't stop until you've eaten the whole bag kind of mentality.
I know this one.
As I do too. That's emotional eating. And there's a whole process that we need to go into to actually unhook the connection between food and eating and emotions. The other body that I speak about is the mental body. That's the thinking part. That's the, it's actually conditions and beliefs and what we've been brought up to think about food. You know how, just think about this scenario. If on a diet, like you were saying that you cheat, and that just even last night you had a chocolate mousse, great. But were you saying, I'm choosing to have this, was there some little voice in the back of your mind saying, you're cheating, or this is bad for you, or this is unhealthy, or this is wrong? Think about all of those
For sure.
thoughts.
That's why I called it cheating.
Exactly. So the thing is that messaging, the mental messaging that you've just done, impacts this body. Because think about your languaging when you're eating a bowl of salad. You're proud of yourself. You're eating something healthy and good for you, and so your body accepts that as proper nourishment, it's grateful for that. Whereas when you put in something that is bad, and I'm cheating, and sometimes people can get even worse and they start to hide it because they don't want people to see that that's what they're doing, because they feel so bad about it. But think about that. If you think about, you're being told that and then you get it, what are you going to do with it? You can't, your body doesn't absorb it or use it in as fuel. It's like, oh, we've just had some toxic incoming thing that I'm not supposed to deal with, right? So that's the mental pieces that's why I was laughing earlier. Cheating's good, but you have to do it with love and acceptance that I'm choosing to do this. Choice is so, so important to say, I choose, and that's why it's so good for you to know as much as you can about eating and diets and protocols, that you can then say, great, I know all this, I'm choosing to do it this way today because it feels good to me.
And there's another body,
The last body is the spiritual body. So I talk about this as my PEMS approach to weight loss: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual.
Okay.
Now the point that I like to bring, the spiritual part, is that's your connection to all that is. That, the concept that we are all one, that we are connected through source. So I'm not saying it's God or whatever. It's whatever your sense of that is. But it's the more that you can get connected to that essence, that higher space of you, that spirit piece of you. Because let's face it, this physical body is the vessel that I get to have my spiritual experience in. So the more I can make looking after all components of me a sacred process, the more connected, the more fulfilled, the more fun, the more on purpose, on target, and it gives meaning to my choices. And more love flows and more acceptance.
And respect.
Absolutely. That's very, very important. So what I like to share with people is that if you looked at each one of the levels of health that you have, or that I have, for instance, so let's say your physical is way up here because you're working out a lot and you're really watching what you eat. Your thinking's way bit down here maybe, and your emotions you're not really looking after them because you're just, when you have these breakdowns of the cravings or whatever, they're down there, and then you don't really give much credence to the spiritual aspect. So the thing is that you're going to get stuck no matter what you do. And so what then ends up happening is people will throw up their hands and say, why is this happening? I'm exercising every day, I'm eating properly, and I can't lose weight. And those are, to me, those are the three components, is we have to start rewiring your thought patterns, getting rid of limiting beliefs, really getting into your emotions, and there's a language behind your cravings, for instance, and they're emotion-based. So figuring them out is a brilliant way to maintain. That's what your question was.
Yes.
This is an ongoing thing. Weight loss is not a destination. Weight loss and a healthy body at your ideal weight, it's a progress, it's a journey.
A journey,
it's
for sure.
Ongoing journey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.